Okay, so here I am again with the rest of the policies, practices, and mandates that workers' compensation felt the need to fill this September 10th letter with. Let's just move on to page 3 of the bullshit. So let's just recap where I kind of left off that last one, so that makes sense. Okay, so we were talking about RSCM volume 2 policy items C1188, which was the nature and extent of programs and services and the discontinuation of vocational rehabilitation services. So let's go on. So they can also discontinue your vocational rehabilitation process if workers do not meet the vocational rehabilitation consultant's expectations for improvement, or their actions obstruct the return to work process, or if a worker removes themselves from the workforce for reasons that do not relate to their injury or disease. Workers remove themselves from the workforce for reasons that do not relate to their injury or disease. The plan is completed and is neither necessary nor cost effective to provide for vocational rehabilitation assistance. Vocational rehabilitation assistance, including benefits, will be terminated when the return to work plan ends and further assistance cannot be justified under the WorkSafe BC policy. So RSCM Volume 2 Policy Item C1188, so nature and extensive programs and services, set out that vocational rehabilitation allowances may be paid to eligible workers while they're waiting to start their vocational rehabilitation plans or while they are participating in above plans. These allowances are only paid after short-term disability benefits has ended and are no longer payable. As with short-term disability benefits, the amount of the worker's long-term disability awards on the same claim must be deducted from these allowances. Eligible workers may receive assistance towards the cost of travel and or living away from home if required for vocational rehabilitation purposes. RSCM Volume 2 Policy Item C1188.5 Formal Training states that WorkSafe BC determines the nature and extent of vocational rehabilitation assistance. This includes consideration of formal training sponsorship. Workers may receive assistance up to 26 weeks over the course of their claim to complete recognized full-time or part-time training, which the vocational rehabilitation consultant determines will provide them with immediate and practical skills for employment. 26 weeks. Like I said, people, it took me longer to learn how to cut fucking hair. RSCM Volume 2 Policy Item C1188.5 Formal Training and Levels of Support Training related directly to the disability sets out that WorkSafe BC determines the nature and extent of vocational rehabilitation assistance that is needed or practical to assist workers in return to work. If the vocational rehabilitation consultant decides that formal training is required due to a worker's disability, its sponsorship should be enough to allow the worker to complete the program and return to a suitable occupation. The vocational rehabilitation consultant estimates the cost of this level of formal training sponsorship. Workers are not expected to contribute their own finances towards the cost of the vocational rehabilitation consultant determines the need is practical for the worker to complete the training course. See, like, did you catch that? Like, they didn't even actually finish the whole sentence. They just kind of copy and pasted a bunch of shit. So when they copied and pasted it, it doesn't make sense. It says right here, the vocational rehabilitation consultant estimates the cost of the travel for or the level of formal training sponsorship. Workers are not expected to contribute their own finances towards the cost of the vocational, and that's where that page ends. I flip over to the next page and it says rehabilitation consultant determines is needed or practical for the worker to complete the training program. Like, it has no, did you see the flow there? I think they copied and pasted wrong. They forgot something. Towards the cost of the vocational rehabilitation, like, there's a whole other sentence there that they forgot. Okay, so let's go on to RSCM Volume 2 Policy Item C1188.5 Formal Training, Levels of Support and Training Related partially to C. I just read this. So they're throwing repeated the same crap. They're just copying and pasting on the letter. I just read this like 2 paragraphs before, but I'm going to read it again just so you can see the crap. It is crap that they do send you. You know, their policies and mandates. Half of them don't even fucking read what they're copying and pasted into these fucking decisions. You know, like the anonymous fucking rehabilitation consultant Lauren now has. It's a joke. So, job search assistant states in part, formal training and levels of support related partially to the disability states that there are times when a worker's request for formal training exceeds what the vocational rehabilitation consultant determines is needed or practical to assist the worker in return to work. In some cases, WorkSafe BC may provide a partial contribution to formal training plan of the worker's choice. The vocational rehabilitation consultant first determines whether the formal training is required due to the worker's disability, and if so, determines the associated costs. WorkSafe BC's contribution to the worker's preferred plan will not exceed the cost of the formal training that the rehabilitation consultant determines is required. So you're going to get what you're going to get, and you're going to like it. Take it or leave it. So, RSCM Volume 2 Policy Item C1188.3 Job Search Assistance states in part that workers may receive assistance to prepare for and conduct an active job search. Assistance may be provided to identify suitable job targets, develop job search skills, participate in individual or group job search programs, and assist employer contacts and or resources to promote the job search. Job search allowances may also be provided. Workers must participate as expected in job search or other related activities. To receive job search assistance, workers are usually required to provide confirmation of their job search efforts or job offer. Workers who are eligible for job search assistance may receive this assistance for up to 12 weeks over the course of their claim. The vocational rehabilitation consultant determines the appropriate length of job search assistance up to 12 weeks beyond the worker's individual cases. So, that's all the policy and practices and mandates that they threw at him in that letter. 4 pages of it, in fact. So, those are the new developments. That's what's come in the mail over the last little while. As I had mentioned in the September 10th letter, or as Mr. Harry Sidhu had bothered to mention, that one of Lauren's job employment barriers is a past criminal record. So Mr. Harry Sidhu took it upon himself to throw a wonderful piece of information in there for Lauren in his job search, or his vocational rehabilitation package, pardon me, which is the assured pardons. Yep, right there. Assured pardons. So even though, Mr. Forbes, we know that, you, like self-proclaimed nasty man, have a bad attitude, not socially interchangeable with people, like this particular job that they're offering him as a glorified fucking parts person, which, has been in fact turned down once already. So, for the fact that Lauren's physically unable to do the job. But, as I had mentioned earlier, they don't take into consideration uncompensable barriers. So, although Lauren has, my sleeve long worth of uncompensable barriers, none of them matter to WorkSafe BC. Do what we tell you to do, or we'll cut your vocational rehabilitation payments off. We'll word this letter so that you can't go anywhere else and get money from anywhere else. That's blackmail at the highest level, people. That is corporate blackmail on Canada's most vulnerable citizens, and that's its seriously injured workers. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. You have a lovely day from the Forbes House. Bye-bye.